Morning Estuary News, I'm Luke Adams. In the headlines tonight, police step up their search for a man on the run, wanted in connection with the Cleethorpes murder. A retired priest from East Yorkshire is found guilty of historic sex offences and a summer carnival in Scunthorpe. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Jenny Cartwright on being named Librarian of the Year. Before that, Jan Gregory tells me about Charlie's aunt. But first tonight, Humberside Police say they are stepping up their manhunt to trace a man wanted in connection with the Cleethorpes murder. 28-year-old Abdi Ali is wanted following the death of Sean Lyle, who was found dead at a property on Sydney Street 3 weeks ago. He has links to Manchester, Merseyside, Sheffield and Lancashire. A £5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to his discovery. Detective Chief Inspector Stuart Miller is from Humberside Police and says he needs the public's help to find him.
I'm appealing for the public's help to find Abdi Ali in connection with the murder of Sean Lyle on or around the 17th of July 2018 in Cleethorpes. Abdi Ali is also known by street names of Black Johnny, Madders, Madman and Gulade. He's black, 6'2" tall, slim to medium build, and he has a distinctive gold tooth on his upper palate at the front. He may have covered that tooth over or had it removed since the incident. He was clean shaven, but may also have grown a beard since. He's originally from the Sheffield area, but has local links in Grimsby and Cleethorpes, Scunthorpe and Hull. Further afield, he has associates or links in London, Manchester, Merseyside and Lancashire. This was a particularly brutal attack. As a result, Crime Stoppers have put up a £5,000 reward for any information that can lead to his arrest. You can call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. If you know anything about where Ali is, who he's associating with, what his movements have been since the 17th of July, please let police know, either via Crime Stoppers or direct on 101. I don't consider he's a danger to the general public, but he could be dangerous if he's confronted or challenged. So please, call police. Let us do our job. This man needs to be found. Please help us do that.
A retired priest has been found guilty of a number of historic sex offences. 84-year-old Reverend Canon Terence Grigg was a minister at St Mary's Church in Cottingham. He denied 15 sex offences, including indecent assault and 2 serious sexual assaults. However, he was convicted of 14 counts at a 3-week trial at Hull Crown Court. The offences on the boys and young men date back to the 80s and 90s. He will be sentenced tomorrow. A pensioner from Skegness has lost nearly £10,000 after falling victim to a phone scam by someone claiming to be from the police. The 76-year-old man received a phone call yesterday afternoon from an individual claiming to be a detective from Lincolnshire Police. He was a bogus officer who told the victim his bank account had been compromised and needed to withdraw £9,500. The money was then picked up by a courier from the man's property. Police would like to speak to anyone who saw this man in the Wainfleet St Mary area yesterday. East Riding Council has launched a study to assess the future of town centres across the county. Local residents will be contacted to understand their shopping patterns and leisure activities. Towns being targeted include Beverley, Driffield, Hesle and Cottingham. The study will also identify figures for additional retail and leisure space up to 2036. The social housing provider Ongo held its annual summer carnival today. The event aims to strengthen links with the local community. Last year, more than 2,000 people attended the annual event. Today's carnival saw the Scunthorpe and District Pipe Band cheerleading and Ruby 12 Stars entertaining the crowds.
Today is all about giving something back to the community. I mean, Ongo obviously has 10,000 properties all across North Lincolnshire, and this day really brings people together and celebrates what Ongo's about and what we do. So we've got lots of different stalls with lots of different things going on. Everything's free of charge other than the food, and it's about everybody coming together and having a good time. The last 2 or 3 years that I've done it, there's been a really big turnout, but it seems to be growing year on year. People are talking to other people and saying it's on. There's not a lot of free activities going on around Scunthorpe. So this is a really good thing to do once a year and just bring everybody together.
I'm down here with the rest of the housing management team. We're out in the community as we do on a day-to-day basis, but days like this are great to let the people who live in our areas and our properties see a different side to the housing officers. It's great to come together with all the other departments of ONGO, including communities, working with, I mean, they've got caretaking stands down here today, and everybody's having fun with the families who live in our homes.
We had over 2,000 people last year. We know already that this year is going to be busier, so thousands of people enjoying the sun and enjoying lots of activities. We believe in our ongoing commitment to communities, so we made it a priority every year to put on this event for the communities that we work in and that our residents live in, and it's fantastic that we can just keep doing it bigger and better every year.
The Labour Party has suspended one of its members over an anti-Semitic social media post. George McManus took to Facebook to express his views on an online story about Labour's deputy leader Tom Watson. He called for a halt to arguments over anti-Semitism within the party. In his post, Mr McManus claimed Watson had received money from Jewish donors. He later posted an apology on Facebook for his comments. Humberside Fire and Rescue Service is introducing an arson text line in a bid to tackle arsons in Hull. The service has responded to more than 600 attacks in as little as 4 months. They fear someone could be killed by deliberately starting fires to buildings in the city. The service hopes the new text facility will tackle the problem. A new electronic map will help identify where life-saving defibrillators can be found. Yorkshire Ambulance Service says there are nearly 500 of them in East Yorkshire, but there are probably more. The service wants to hear from people who know if any of the devices are located in their office and shop by registering them online. The map will make the life-saving kit more accessible to all and could save thousands more lives. 3,000 tonnes of stone is being delivered near Brigg. It's to further develop the Ancon Valley Way. The path will run from Bonby to Saxby All Saints Bridge. Once completed in October, the route will run all the way from Brigg to South Ferriby. A sunflower grower in Lincolnshire is reaping the benefits of the prolonged sunshine. Nicholas Watts, who runs a sunflower farm near Spalding, says they've had one of their best seasons in years. They've produced 1 million plants as a result of the weather, which equates to 1 billion sunflower seeds. Watts set up the farm with his family after they first bought seeds from Argentina to grow in their garden. Charlie's Aunt is the latest production from the Scunthorpe Hospital Players. Jan Gregory joins me now to tell me what's in store. Good evening, Jan. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Charlie's Aunt is not your aunt, I hasten to add. That is the name of the play.
That is the name of the play, yes.
What is the play about?
Well, it's an old play by Thomas Brandon, and it takes place in 1892. And it's actually about 2 college boys who are madly in love with their girls, but etiquette at that time means that they cannot invite the girls or talk to the girls without chaperone. Luckily, Charlie's aunt says she's coming to visit, so they invite the girls over for lunch. And at the last minute, Charlie's aunt sends a message to say she can't appear. So what are they going to do? At that moment, one of their friends appears, and he's dressed as an old lady for a theatrical drama that is taking place in a college. So he's dragged into the part of playing Charlie's aunt. However, as the play progresses, the real aunt turns up.
Okay.
So what's going to happen then?
Interesting. Why have you decided to perform this play?
Well, actually, there's a couple of reasons. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary this season, and so we are opening the season with a costume drama, which was the favourite of one of our last presidents, a lady who was with the group from 1947, and she left us a little legacy. And we decided to save that so we could use it to splash out and celebrate the 70th anniversary. So the costume drama was chosen, and this was one of her favourites too.
Excellent, so a bit of a legacy to her.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's always a busy time in the run-up to the actual performance. How are rehearsals going?
The rehearsals are going really, really well, and we're having lots and lots of fun because it is very comical, and there's lots of action in it, obviously, with the young boy pretending to be the aunt, and, you know, the older gentlemen who take a liking to her. But there you go, that's another part of the plot.
How many people are in the cast for this one?
There are 10 people, 6 gentlemen and 4 ladies.
Okay. Now, tickets, I'm assuming, are on sale as we speak. How can people get tickets for the play, Jan?
Tickets are on sale. You can get them from the Plowright Theatre, from their website or from the theatre itself, and the tickets are £10 plus booking fees. Or, if you would like to take advantage of our special offer, which is 2 tickets for £12 or £12.60 because of postage, you can see our website, www.thehospitalplayers.co.uk.
Okay.
And you'll find the special offer on there.
And the box office number is 0844 854 2776. Most
correct.
importantly, when is the play being performed?
The play's being performed from Tuesday the 4th of September to Saturday the 8th of September at 7:30 at the Plowright Theatre.
Okay, so not long to go now.
Not very long to go.
You're celebrating 75 years.
75 years of the Hospital
How
Players.
have those years gone?
Don't ask me. I've been with the Hospital Players for 40 years now, and I can't believe that. It's been wonderful. When you think that 3 or 4 people on the top of the hospital decided to read plays to pass the time during the fire watching, and then asked a few nurses to help them to raise some money for the hospital, and now 75 years later we're still doing that and still donating money to the Hospital League of Friends. It's quite a legacy.
So you're going from strength to strength.
Well, we are.
40 years
Hopefully.
you've been part of the theatre, Jan.
I have.
What have been some of your highlights very quickly?
Oh,
5
very
seconds.
quickly. My highlight, I would say, was playing Elvira in Blithe Spirit.
Excellent. I wish you all the best with this new production. Here's to the next 75 years, Jan.
Oh,
Thank you very
thank
much
you.
indeed.
Thank you very much.
Join me after the break when Jack brings us all the latest sports news and Jenny Cartwright about becoming Librarian of the Year. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack has all the latest sports news and Jenny Cartwright tells me about her recent award. A hospital porter has thanked a security officer after he saved his life. 49-year-old Sean Marshall suffered a cardiac arrest near the main entrance to Hull One Infirmary during his morning shift on A&E. Security officer Josh Woolhouse came to his aid with 2 nurses after they noticed Sean had fallen to the floor. A defibrillator was used to restart Sean's heart before he was rushed to A&E, where emergency staff were able to save his life. Sean is now back on the road to recovery and about to return to work. He says if it wasn't for Josh, he wouldn't be here. Drones are being used to search for rough sleepers in Lincolnshire as part of a pilot scheme. The P3 charity is trialling the technology in the county, where it says it can take its outreach team hours to find a homeless person in rural areas. The drone uses a 20mm camera to live stream footage of rural Lincolnshire back to outreach teams, letting them comb remote areas across the region more effectively. The charity says the technology will revolutionise their ability to direct support to vulnerable people sleeping rough. The scheme is now underway. It's hoped it could move to other parts of the country if successful. Plans have been submitted to North Lincolnshire Council to increase the capacity of Scunthorpe United Stadium. The Iron wants to redevelop Glanford Park, which they say will help cope with an increase in demand. The local authority needs to approve the plans to redevelop the existing stadium and increase its capacity by an extra 2,000 seats with an additional 700 car parking spaces. Plans also include more than 100 apartments and a hub for the NHS, which will help generate more income. Yorkshire Water says a major road in Beverley will remain closed for the rest of the week. It's after a burst water main on Beck side. Engineers have now fixed the leak, but repair work is still needed to be carried out to the road and footpath. A diversion remains in place. Parts of Flamborough will be closed tomorrow for filming of the ITV series Victoria. There will be limited access to North and South Landing for most of the day, but Bridlington will be unaffected. A Grimsby librarian is celebrating after being awarded Local Studies Librarian of the Year. Jenny Cartwright from Links Inspire joins me now to tell me more. Good evening, Jenny. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
First of all, tell me about your award.
Well, it was a really nice surprise, actually. A very well-respected colleague of mine, who I've done a number of projects with over the years, nominated me for the CILIP Local Studies Librarian of the Year. That's the Chartered Institute of Library and Information Professionals, and I won it. Which was a really nice surprise. Thank you.
Because I believe you'd worked with Nikki Dilliston on
right.
the Threads of the Past project.
Yes, that was a project because my work, as you know, is heavily involved in the Local Studies Library for Links Inspire Libraries, as I've been involved in that for a number of years. And I'm always looking at ways to promote the collection, different ways, unique ways. And I was listening to a radio programme where stitching and sewing had been used as therapy for people. And I thought maybe we could do a combination combination of utilising the heritage collection in the library with creative work to produce, to work on a project. So we got lottery funding to run Threads of the Past, and Nikki and I worked together. We delivered the project at St Andrew's Hospice, we worked with the Alzheimer's Society, and we worked at Strand Court.
So lots of key organisations and working heavily in the community,
Absolutely.
which is what libraries really are all about.
It is, yes. I mean, we have the libraries that people visit, but I mean, my job title now is a development officer. Okay. So I go out and I develop the service. I it's my mission to make sure that people know about the local history collection and to look at new ways of increasing access to the collection. So there's never a dull moment. It's always interesting thinking up new ways. Just this afternoon I've been at Hayborough doing a memory lane talk for a group of ladies there, which was good.
Interesting work there, Jenny.
It's very interesting. I'm never bored.
When did you pick up the award?
I picked it up in June. I went to Leicester University. It was an oral history conference. There were a lot of other library information professionals there. So I travelled there, which was a real trip down memory lane for me because I studied there 40 years ago when I did my first degree in modern languages.
How did it feel to go back?
It was an enormous passing of time, I think. It's 40 years since I was there, so still found my way to the university then.
Lots of changes.
Yes,
because I studied in Nottingham, just down the road, and Leicester's a very nice city.
It is, yes, and the campus had changed a lot. They've obviously developed it a lot over the...
Now, was you up against lots of people to actually win this prestigious award?
As far as I'm aware, I was nominated a couple of years ago and didn't win it that time. And I think that Nikki was approached to resubmit the nomination, which she did. And I thought maybe there wasn't anybody else nominated, but it turns out there were quite a few people nominated. But because of all the projects I'd been involved in, they selected me.
A worthy winner. A worthy winner.
Thank you.
Jenny, you've worked in this sector for 34 years. You've seen lots of changes, I would imagine, in that time.
Absolutely. I was 24 when I started there in Grimsby Library. It was before computers. We had what they call brown issue, where you'd get all your little book tickets in little cards. And I can remember one lady used to wear a mohair cardigan, a member of staff, and she'd be sort of doing her hands over all the boxes of tickets, and then she'd lift her arms up and all the tickets would be stuck to the mohair.
How things change. How things change. Do libraries still have a place in the community, given the fact that we live in a very online, digital world now?
I think they definitely do. I do the visitor figures for a number of library buildings, and we know that people are still coming in libraries, they're still borrowing books. There's definitely a place. I'm not saying that we can stay in a traditional sense of a public library, but I think over the last few years we have redeveloped ourselves, reinvented ourselves, moved with the times. I mean, as well as the traditional library users, we've got people coming in to do IT sessions. We help people with universal credit applications. We do a lot of work now in the health and wellbeing sector, working with people with dementia. So it's a way of completely reinventing ourselves all the time and just getting the message out there that we're still here.
Yes, and like you said there, Jenny, not using libraries in the traditional sense of going to borrow a book. It's that real community aspect.
It's the
and
community
making it a community hub for the local area.
Yeah, although people are still borrowing books.
That's good. That's good. I'm pleased to hear that. Now, local history is very important. Why do you think Grimsby is such a special place to preserve all that history?
I think that working in the local history collection, you've got a number of different resources. So you've got books, you've got maps, you've got photographs dating right back to the 1800s. And not everything is online. A lot of it is, and lots of projects are going along, going on where people are digitising collections. But until that happens, people still need to visit libraries to see these particular resources. And I think we're guardians of the past in a way. Me and my colleagues, we've got a really good team who work with the local studies collection. We still add to it. I always make that point. It's not just a standalone collection. We're collecting the history of the future.
A really rich source.
Oh, it really is.
Source.
Yes.
What's happening at the library, very quickly in 20 seconds, over the summer and autumn?
Over the summer and autumn, summer reading challenge, get your children signed up, brilliant challenge. Adult reading challenge, don't be left out, mums and dads and grandmas and grandpas. And in October, it's Grimsby Central Library's 50th birthday. So we're having a party on October the 9th.
Happy 50th birthday. And once again, Jenny, well done. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now here's Jack with all the sports news.
Hull City head coach Nigel Adkins has been speaking about potential new signings to the club. The Tigers have made 6 signings so far this summer, but have seen a total of 10 players depart the KCOM Stadium. The club haven't been linked with any names in particular though, with Adkins confirming on Monday that they missed out on a player who decided to go elsewhere. In the wake of the 3-1 home defeat to Aston Villa, Adkins said he's aware of the need to add more players to the squad.
Obviously the window shuts on Thursday. I've highlighted that we need to bring players in. That's going to continue from my point of view. But likewise, we've got a group of guys who are working extremely hard and we need to help them.
In Scunthorpe United transfer news, Iron winger Dwayne Holmes has been linked with a move away from Glenford Park. Championship sides Derby County and Scunthorpe's playoff conquerors Rotherham United are the clubs rumoured to be interested. If Holmes were to leave, it would give manager Nick Dawes very little time to find a replacement, with the transfer window for permanent signings closing at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Now a familiar face has returned to North East Lincolnshire. Former Grimsby Town captain Craig Disley has joined non-league side Cleethorpes Town. The 36-year-old has signed for the Owls on a season-long loan deal from Alfreton Town. Disley made more than 250 appearances for the Mariners in a 6-year spell at Blundell Park and was part of the 2016 National League playoff final winning team. And finally, in Rugby League, Hull Kingston Rovers have made 4 changes to their squad ahead of this Friday's mid-late clash with Salford. In come Junior Vivai, Danny Maguire, James Greenwood and Joel Tompkins. The Robins will be without the suspended Mercy Meso and Maurice Blair, while prop Lee Jewett is out with concussion. And that's all for today's sport. Back to Luke in the studio.
Thank you very much, Jack. That's it for this Wednesday evening. My thanks to Jenny and Jan for joining me on the sofa. As always, if you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details are on the screen as I speak. You can email news@estuary.tv or phone our news desk, which is on 01472 31553. Write to us at the usual address, Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN 34 5BQ. Until tomorrow, from all of us on the team, have a great Wednesday evening. We'll see you live at 5:30 tomorrow.